Hello there everybody, and welcome to a slightly different kind of video with me. It is my 2024 art and review video, where I'm just going to talk about my favourite piece from each month and what I feel like I learned and enjoyed about them. We're going to start off, of course, in January. It is probably one of my most favourite pieces of the year. Bruce, my OC, if every part of his colour palette was purple essentially. He's very cute and fluffy. It got some shit for being a furry piece, but I don't really care. I think this is beautiful and I really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed actually depicting him with the fat that I imagine him having because of the help of the reference by Cinchi Stock's little collaborative group for posting and everything. I absolutely recommend them if you're an artist. I would be doing much worse as an artist without the resources they offer. But yeah, this is a really fun one and I really loved it. Purple's like my favourite colour, so I was already a little bit predisposed to specifically appreciating this one, but you know, you like the art you make for yourself a little more than other things, I think. In February I drew two of my Neopets as like humanised, furry-ized Ginjinkas? Is that what they get called? I don't know. But as like bipedal furry like guys. And this was the first time I'd drawn Sashora, the scene character, and she's just like so cute. I love her. She's so sweet. She's got such a nice personality, and I really like how, you know, her and Ebony are kind of just dopey, goofy, silly kids, and they have very different art styles, but they do still very much enjoy one another's aesthetics. It's just a real fun pair. They make me quite happy just to have like a character pair who are just, you know, simple. They like holding hands and they like going on little dates. Other things are also fun, but sometimes it's nice just to take it down to the basics of being someone in love with someone else, but basically being a goofy little teen at the same time. I know it probably looks like they're from like a different time, with their more 2000s outfits and everything, but they are actually meant to be existing in like the modern day. I really love the raccoon tail side bits. If I could be bothered dyeing and sorting my hair enough, I would absolutely have those. I had some when I was a teenager, but you know, they were hard to maintain and I let them kind of fall to the wayside. The next piece is one of Raleigh, one of my favourite secondary characters from a comic. That's also actually where Bruce is from, and also I forgot to mention Bruce is one. This was part of a Neopets art challenge, which is yeah, this whole year has been Neopets. I'm sorry, it makes me happy, and I know it's stupid, and I know that they bring in policies that suck, and there's so much I don't like about it, but it's like ever since I was young, Neopets is just that thing to me. It was like the peak of internet browsing. But anyway, Raleigh is in canon, victim of scientific experimentation, as well as being essentially amputated from the elbows and the hips down on, well, below his hips, but like the hip joint to legs is where it stops. And he's a kind of sad character in a lot of ways. At the same time, when I picture what he is in the comic when we're hanging out with him, it's not really that obvious until pressure really builds up. And so he's a character who's just really grabbed my heart and has done for a while now. And I've just really had a lot of fun drawing him. And this one was especially interesting because his replacement artificial limbs are made out of like enchanted wood in his story, thanks to one of his close friends being magically inclined. So the idea of him being like an all-over puppet was kind of interesting. You know, it's almost as if it spread further along him. It had a little creepy story along with it too, so I just ended up really liking this. I think if there's anything I would change, it would like probably be making the backgrounds colours, outlined colours as well. I wanted to like separate the two, but I think it just kind of makes the two look like they're done in an entirely separate style. Not, well, entirely separate, but somewhat. But, you know, I think it's only if I'm nitpicking that I even get to that point. And we move on to April, which is a piece that I'm still really happy with. Anyway, this is Beefy. She is normally a human transported outside of her homeland to Finrar, where the story takes place. I've mentioned other characters. This was another Neopets paintbrush challenge where she drew as if she had been painted by the Mactrash paintbrush, which is like underwater monsters. And I think she looked great. I took inspiration from like animals I like jellyfish and cuttlefish, and certain like nudibranchs. Branks? I can't remember. The little guys with the fuzzy ears, as well as some fantasy ones like the Emperor Leviathan from Subnautica. My brain was saying Sub-Zero, and I'm like, that's the tagline of the second-ish game. But I don't know if that's actually a second game or if it's just a DLC now I think about it. Anyway, that one was a really fun challenge considering I typically draw humanoids, but I do then go into me to do another piece with a quite humanoid but inhuman character. It's Shihosu, as if she has been painted by the pirate paintbrush on Neopets, and she just looks absolutely wicked. She's like one of my characters whose designs I'm most proud of, but it's also so hard to draw. But honestly, I think this is going to be her outfit at some point or another because it just suits her so much. Love it, like 10 out of 10. Probably my favourite piece of the year. I have to say, like, I think I peaked early on and then from there was just surviving, which does sound a lot like my mental health that year. After getting sick in February and still not really feeling emotionally recovered. We have June next, which was a piece that again I get a little bit nonsense for because the furries, and people act like seeing furries is like the most disturbing thing on the planet, and I'm like, I have to assume you weren't on the internet like 20 years ago because you would not have survived. Anyway, this is three of my OCs. Valentino, who supplies Raleigh with his artificial limbs, Piper, who is Valentino's girlfriend, and Sky, who is both Valentino and Piper's partner. Don't know what's going on with the gender. They're on another planet. Gender's different there. Anyway, he is a cute character, and I really enjoy drawing all three of these, to be honest. And this isn't the first. This is just one of many. I used the template by McNuggy for the OT3 drawings. It's a great resource if you want to draw polyamory and trios. I don't think there's many for other groups, but like, you know, trios really good for it. It's quite difficult to pose 3 characters, which is why I was using this resource made by them. So I'd say go check it out. I think you'd enjoy it. Anyway, moving on to July, which was Art Fight, and it's Angel. How could it be anyone else? How could I choose anyone but Angel? It was my first, I think, one of this year's Art Fight, and I spent a lot of time on it. I did have to simplify things like hiding the back wing and not putting in details, which I would have liked to do, but obviously Art Fight only lasts for a month and it's time limited by someone else, so unlike later projects where I can do it over time, it's not quite as easy to do that. I used another pose ref from, I said Senji stock earlier, they're a Dorka stock now. My bad. Again, it'll be linked properly in the comments down below though. And yeah, Valentino is Sugoi Seal's character. I think the character's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love so much about him. And like Ezra Sugoi Seal draws him so much better than I can. But I gave it a good old college try, and I'm quite happy with it regardless. Which then lets us move on to August, with Matthew Patel posing with every version of the Demon Hipster Chicks we've seen so far, going from the original comic, then into, I believe it was Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, then, which one was that? Movie? I think that was the movie where they're just kind of like grayscale and weird, and then the pink one is my personal favourite, which is the video game. And then there's Matthew Patel. This was a redraw of Matthew Patel and the girls from the original. The only real difference it is was slightly changing the characters' designs and outfits on the Hipster Chicks. Matthew stays entirely the same, but this was done to celebrate the absolutely shocking 20th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim's Miserable Little Life, I believe the first comic's called. Absolutely fantastic. I love it all, and it is so crazy that it's already so old, considering it wasn't until like 2010s that we got the movie, which is when I really got acquainted with the series. But yeah, it was really nice to draw something celebratory. I don't know if it's just this picture, but looking at Matthew, he does look a little greyed out, which was not intentional. I'm hoping this is just lower quality, but that would probably be something I'd want to change out a little bit. Like, his clothes and his skin tone both look a little bit less saturated than I'd like, but maybe I'm just overanalyzing. Anyway, this was a really fun one to do. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was very popular. Oh, I think I'd also put some fire colouring in front of Matthew's hand. I feel like he had that in some version of this that I did. Gosh, my memory's so bad. This was just August. I've got a big memory lapse issue. And in September, I ended up drawing the Tooth Fairy. Now, I feel like this was something that was prompted by something else, but I really just cannot remember now that I'm here. I'm fairly sure I read the description last night, but regardless, it was kind of a play on, like, the fact that Neopets is in, like, its depression era in its plot, and multiple places have turned grey, and, like, one of the first things that a lot of people drop when they get depressed is, like, cleaning their teeth, and then teeth start deteriorating, and so on and so forth. That happened with me and ended up with me needing, like, 5 fillings to fix teeth that were either now damaged or cavitied, or that had a filling in it that was, like, broken and stuff. So, take care of your teeth. The Tooth Fairy does not need to be worrying about all your nasty teeth rotting away in your mouth, because it reduces your lifetime quality. Now, lots of people are just unlucky genetically, and you shouldn't feel any shame if that's the case for you, by the way. Teeth and healthcare is very individual, and your dentist knows better than I would ever know. I'm very passionate about teeth. They're just very important things in the human life, and I'm very biologically curious about them. In October we started Neotober, and I think my favourite one of that month has to be the slushy animation that I did. It's super simple, it's colourful, it's cute. I really like it. And I can't really justify it more than that. I think it was fun, and I'm really glad I decided to try that out, because it's the first time I've ever animated something like that. Very simple again, but I really feel like Neotober reminds me that animations don't have to be like a mini movie. Sometimes you can just do little things and it'll be interesting and build intrigue, which isn't that what we all want to do as artists. In November, I was continuing Neotober and chose to draw Sophie the Swamp Witch as a young goat. Like, these are kind of goats. Anyway, I thought this one was really nice. I really liked the light source playing with, like, the dark shadowy out of, like, sort of area, and I just really like Sophie. She's just a fun character to draw, and I love her little crawl that goes between her eyes. In December, I chose the Codestone day of my Neotober thing because it included Ebony and Sushora, who also featured in February. These two are just really cute. I'm just very, very, like, partial to drawing them, because, like, they just have so little stress associated with them. They always seem to be happy. I kind of, like, don't ever want to give them a story outside of just being two cute little ixies who are in love. You know, they don't really need anything else. They're just comfort characters, which we all need a little comfort in this world. But yeah, I thought this one was really fun. I liked altering the lay design for the Codestone lays for these two, and I like the idea of them, you know, exchanging them as gifts, or maybe having the photo taken while they're on holiday. And yeah, that was 2024. I'm in an odd mindset about it. Am I happy? In general, no. With my art, mostly. I really want to do more studies and improve, and I think I've said that every single year on these, like, typed up versions of this, but maybe this year will be the year I actually do that. And if not, maybe it's the year that I start doing better animations. Either way, I'm gonna do my best to keep going and keep trying. Even if it feels like pulling teeth to get myself to do things on many days. But to counter that, I am actually going to take a little break from drawing and stuff. I'll probably do more artsy crafty things on hand and play games, just to get an actual break. Drawing does make me happy, but it also does have physical effects and pains, so I think I need to get healthier about dealing with my emotional distress instead of just trying to draw and focusing on that. It's a delicate balancing game, as is everything in life. This doesn't really sound like an optimistic ending, and I'm not very optimistic as a person these days, but I am optimistic that something in my art will change next year, and I'm curious to see what it'll be. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.